Welcome, everybody. My name is Professor Blake Winter. I am one of the professors of mathematics here at Medaille College, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our program here at Medaille for applied mathematics. We actually have two different sort of pathways for our students to take. One of them is focused on data sciences, and the other is focused on actuarial sciences. So we'll start by talking about the data science path, and then we'll talk about the actuarial sciences path, and then we'll talk a little bit about what makes Medaille special. So, why would you be interested in becoming a data scientist? Well, one reason is because it's a sort of a pathway that can lead you to all sorts of jobs in all sorts of fields. It is in high demand because data science is used to organize information of all different kinds. Every different kind of field, whether we're talking about the hard sciences, whether we're talking about places like Google, or whether we're talking about other sorts of institutions, everybody has to deal with data these days, and they need people who know how to work with data, organize it, and analyze it. So, there's a lot of demand for people who understand data science. And here's some more information about the current job market for people going into data science. You can see that the demand is increasing. There are more and more job openings, and the average starting salary is a reasonably nice $120,000. Here's a little bit more information that you can see about how much money you might expect to make if you go into the data sciences. Depending upon what exactly you focus on, that salary can range over from 65,000 up to as much as 137,000 or 141,000 a year. So what is data science? Well, it's really the study of how do you organize and understand and interpret data. And doing this requires a strong knowledge of mathematics, it requires knowledge of computer science, and it requires knowledge of statistics as well as data processing. And usually you need to know something about the particular field that you're working in. But if you have the mathematics and computer science background, which you will get at Medaille, then usually your job is able to give you whatever expertise you need in that specific field, and then you can apply what you've learned about the data sciences to that particular field. Now, what is an actuary? So, this is our second sort of pathway for the applied science program here. Actuarial science is focused more on statistics. Now, it still works with data, but it's focused more on things like how can we analyze risk given all the information that we have. So, actuaries often end up going to work for places like insurance companies. They need people who have strong skills in statistics and mathematics who can look at data from the real world and tell them what is the risk here? How much do we need to charge for our premiums in order to make sure that we end up not losing money on our clients who buy our insurance programs? So, learning actuarial sciences requires you to understand a great deal of statistics and mathematical modeling and understanding how to analyze data statistically. It can also use machine learning because machine learning can be used to help you understand data. You can use machine learning techniques to create programs that will analyze data for you. Now, actuaries don't just work in insurance, they also work as consultants for companies who are interested in analyzing risk and understanding things in finances, for example. They can get jobs working with the government, understanding risk, understanding the pros and cons of regulatory laws. And you can also work with accounting, banking, all types of different places that are interested in risk and finance and that sort of focus. As you can see, actuaries also tend to make a decent amount of money, just like data scientists, and they are also in pretty high demand these days. So, what do you learn if you are going to be an actuary? Well, you need to have a strong background in mathematics, including calculus, as well as statistics and probability, because a lot of the work of an actuary is focused on statistical analysis of risk and other kinds of risk assessment. But it turns out that a lot of that is actually going to use calculus. When people say, oh, you'll never use calculus in the real world, they're not really correct about that. Actuaries use calculus in the real world all the time. But it's not enough to just have a good math background anymore. You also need to have a background in computer skills, because nowadays computers are used to organize your data, and you need to know something about programming in order to write programs that can help you work with large quantities of data all at once. And like many other jobs, you need to have good skills in project management, solving problems, working with finances, and you need to be able to communicate the information that you find to the people that you're working with or who you're working for. Because in the end, you need to be able to present those results in a way that somebody who isn't an actuary is going to actually understand. So you need to have a good, solid foundation of communication skills. Now, actuaries end up having to take quite a few different exams during their careers. So here's a list of some of those exams, and two of them, the probability exam and financial mathematics exam, are exams that you'll be taking before your graduation. Usually, your company will help pay for your test fees and give you a higher salary as you start taking and passing more of those exams later on in your career. Now, what you're really probably interested in is, why would you pick Medaille College? Well, there's a few different reasons for that, but I think the big one, from my perspective at least, is how much individualized support you receive here at Medaille. Because Medaille is a relatively small institution with a low number of students to each faculty member, that means that you are going to get to know every one of us here in the mathematics department on a very personal level. I myself went to an undergraduate institution that was about the same size as Medaille, and one of the things that I got there, which I noticed people who went to large research universities didn't really get, is I was very close with all of my professors. I knew them well. I got to talk to them outside of class all the time. And I wasn't just somebody taking classes from a graduate student or an adjunct. So here at Medaille, you will have a lot of personal attention from all of your professors, and you will also have a lot of personal academic advisement that is tailored just to you. As part of this, we try to come up with an individualized plan for every student who comes through our program. So, working with your advisor and with one or more of the professors here, we try to come up with projects, papers, presentations that you can do. Things that you can focus on, especially including a capstone project that will enable you to gain some firsthand industry experience. And these projects can be tailored to your particular interests, whether you're interested in the data sciences or actuarial sciences. We will work with you to try to find something that you can do that will get you relevant experience that you'll be using in your career. Also, as a final note, I should mention that you can try to do both the data sciences and the actuarial pathways together, since a lot of them really do overlap. Most of the mathematics courses that you need for one pathway are things that you need for the other pathway as well. So if you'd like to do both, that will make you even more attractive to potential employers, because then they know that you have more of a background and can branch out to do different things, that you'll be more flexible to meet whatever needs that they have. I hope that you have enjoyed this little discussion of Medaille College, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully next year.